I guess I have to go with this. And just have to go with this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Forrest Holman here, and welcome. Welcome to a new video game. This game is titled Star Trek Resurgence. Star Trek, of the whole franchise, for the most part. I haven't seen most of the newer Star Trek shows that have come out. I've seen part of the first season of Discovery, and that's about as far into it as I've gotten, because I'm wanting to watch all the shows in the franchise's chronological order. Well, you know, the history of that show's chronological order. But yeah, so I have been a fan of Star Trek ever since I first watched Star Trek: The Next Generation, which came out from 1987 all the way up to 1994 for 7 seasons. A series that is regarded by many as one of the best shows of the franchise for many reasons. And in my opinion, most of the shows from the 90s shows, specifically Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, are probably the best ones out of them all. Hey, Sebastian, how you doing tonight? But that's just my opinion. I have enjoyed what I've seen so far of that show, rewatching all the episodes. But in any case, we're gonna go ahead and get started with this game. So without further ado, let's begin. This is a dramatic lives adventure. The relationships and events you are about to experience will be shaped by the choices you make. Alright? Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of some ship.
Oh, Stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months putting the ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission.
Nice.
And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them.
Shall we test that theory?
Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy, the nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good. Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
Whoa. Oh, what the heck's going on over here? There you go.
Thanks.
No problem.
I'm not great with flying. But these little shuttles are the worst.
Here's a tip. Don't close your eyes. You'd think that would make it...
I'll give it a try.
The crew is impacted by the things you say.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
Well, at least we got a new crewmate to look forward to.
Jara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Star Trek Resurgence. Based on Star Trek by created by Gene Roddenberry. It passed away in 1991 in the middle of the Next Generation's production. Fourth season. Change of station. So, check in at security. Is left stick to move?
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
There was another one that was right over here, wasn't there? Or was that just me thinking? Yep, welcome to Starbase 128. I wonder how far into space that would be.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Vintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the Academy. So, there's that.
Really? That's quite impressive.
Thank you. It was tough. But you know, I set my mind to it and it paid off.
Well, we gotta be nice to our new officers, you know? Only being strict when we need to be.
Hold it there for a few seconds.
Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
The pleasure's mine, Ensign...
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you on
Very
the
well. Very well. Find Commander Ermoth.
Good day, Commander.
Good day to you. So many different things to look at, so little time.
If I remember my briefing, Commander Ermot is a Bolian, so I'm looking for someone with blue skin. Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm just... Well, I'm not sure where my departure dock is. The Resolute's gonna leave without me.
Look here. The Resolute is leaving from this dock.
Ah, you're right. Nerves must be getting to me. Thanks so much, Commander.
Thankfully you put your arm in before the thing could try to take it.
Not until I find Commander Ermot.
So we got plenty of things to look at.
Starbase 128 has 4 docks. I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board.
Oh yeah, replicated meals are not generally well received
Excuse me, have you seen a Bolian around here?
Yes, sir. Right back there, near the replicator.
Ah, there he is. Thank you.
Happy to help, Commander.
So let's see. This would be our guy to talk to.
Excuse me.
Oh, let's see, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermont, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now. I know conditions are less than ideal at the moment.
It was a bit bumpy, but otherwise okay.
My apologies. This storm is unlike anything I've seen before.
Is that species to any Star Trek fan?
Able to come fill the first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship and all. To our little research vessel.
What exactly have you heard about me?
First in your class at the Academy. Received the Starfleet Award of Valor during the Dominion War. Most recently, Tactical Officer and Chief of Security on the USS Endeavor.
You've done your homework?
Like I said, we're very lucky.
Okay, so I want to talk about this for a second here. First and foremost, if that commander looks very familiar to, if that if the Bolian looks somewhat familiar to any Star Trek fan watching this, a secondary character that appeared in the second half of The Next Generation, I believe, in the second half of The Next Generation, was a Bolian, but he was the ship's barber, pretty much. He would appear every so often in those episodes. A bit late for him, but it is what it is. Also, the Dominion War. That's a really nice reference toward Deep Space Nine, where most of that series basically revolved around the Dominion War, as well as a few other bits and pieces there outside of it. But for the most part, it did delve into the Dominion War for that show, which I think helped it out a lot, because regardless of how you felt about the one-off episodes that they had for the most part, it definitely helped because it told a very big story with everybody that had everybody that was involved in it. Oh, that's a really cool looking ship.
USS Resolute. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own. And she doesn't look so bad considering 6 months ago she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
The equipment malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle.
Wow.
Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other. That's what it means to be a crew.
I can't even begin to imagine what that must have been like for you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It does weigh heavy. There are some things you can't forget.
Did you lose anyone close to you?
Too many. And to that I'll just say, you have big shoes to fill. Listen, I realize you've known Captain Solano for quite some time. And I'm sure you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Thank you. Always good to have a sense for what you're walking into.
I just thought you ought to know.
I appreciate it.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari. I'll let the captain.
So we got Jara, we got Carter. So far we got Commander Ermot. Jara made a good first impression with Commander Ermot, coming off as inquisitive and appreciative while showing empathy for what the crew of the Resolute suffered. Ensign Calloway was grateful for Jara's helpful guidance when he was nervous on the shuttle flight.
Brief you on. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
Alright. Oh, new guy here. Alright.
Stuck. Got just the thing.
Find the plasma torch. Seems simple enough for now. I'm getting like heavy rain vibes based on how we're doing these movements. Oh man, that's burnt out to hell. Take this out.
Is that?
There you go. The lower decks. I could just barely see the second half of that word under my camera, but it does say the lower decks.
I thought the thing was totally fried.
Hello.
Nice work, Carter.
Thank you.
Nothing to it, Neely.
And not a moment too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering. Like, now.
Oh, okay then.
Hey, Diaz, can you give us some help with the transporter?
What's the problem?
We need to test this cargo transporter. I've never been that great with the signal plotting.
I got it. No problem.
Select waypoints to create a path to the ionic interference. The line connecting the points will lose stability if it passes through the interference. The yellow bar indicates the stability of your path. When full, you will succeed. Press right stick to aim and hold R2 to select and drag waypoints.
Come on!
There you go.
No sweat.
All right.
Hey, buddy, get off the pad!
Uh-oh.
Carter Diaz!
Uh-oh.
Don't tell Chovak.
Not a word.
Time's a wasting.
Ow!
Makes more sense than zero G. You're welcome. So clean I can see myself. And you know what? Not half bad.
Okay then.
A place for everything, and everything in its place. Someone gonna fix that?
She's gotta be like, you press it, you fix it, boy.
Junction 34B gives you access to the tubes behind cargo storage.
Hey,
turbo lift.
can I help?
The retrofit. Bulkhead cuts it off in section 2.
Good luck.
Computer reroutes.
So then,
I'm thinking we'll have to do the work in that tube, then take the turbo lift.
Engineering.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds. Hanging upside down makes me queasy.
You and me working together, we can tackle anything he throws at us.
Your optimism is positively contagious.
Why, thank you.
Looks like we got here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
We were just looking for you, Commander.
Petty Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Ed Solar on repeated occasions.
Apologies for the delay, Commander.
I do not want your apologies. Simply see to it that it does not happen again.
Yes, sir.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
How concerned should we be about the storm? Are you worried?
Vulcans do not worry.
Of course
we
they
calculate
don't.
the variables and take appropriate precautions to mitigate the risk. Right now, that entails making critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes, Commander
Roger that.
Chovak. All hands on deck.
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovak said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out, and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be damned.
It all comes down to us, Nelly. We're the ones who will get it ready.
I know what we can do. But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
Excuse me.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
We've been through a whole hell of a lot as a crew. They're gonna have to prove themselves before they're really one of us.
Yeah, you're right. Anyone could look serious in a clean uniform. Show me what you can do when everything's falling apart.
Alright.
Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
I'm gonna take the high road here, pretend you didn't say that, and welcome you aboard.
He's a better diplomat than I am.
He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
Alright. Oh yeah, just like, give me that helmet.
Let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go. See you on the other side.
Activating
just-
magnetic souls.
Yep. So magnetic souls are to make sure you don't go flying off into space. I mean, that part should have been obvious, but I'm just saying. Please don't pull me down too hard, okay? Oh yes, that's a very necessary shot. The view never gets old. Oh, here we go. I could already tell that area right there is the bridge, the one that we just passed through with the glass weapon. Yeah, that's very much what I'm thinking of here. All hands. Before we begin, let's take a look at this here. Let's see. Miranda felt encouraged by Carter's warm reception when she first arrived aboard the Resolute, holding out hope there might be some chemistry between them. I mean, that was kind of obvious for me to see that. And Lieutenant Commander Chovak found Carter to be respectful and responsible when he and Edslar were almost late in main engineering.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily.
Thank you.
You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleons. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home.
I hope you did not just...
yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
I hope you did not just jinx that, because I get the feeling he probably did. They really made that glass shine, didn't they? Oh, a train. Model train.
He's
Locomotive.
Still got a thing for trains.
Yep, locomotive.
The engines of their day, apparently.
Wharf engines of their day were pretty much coal. That's pretty much it. Diploma, yeah.
I can't believe he keeps this around. Don't even know where mine is.
Hey, he's got to show off something, right?
The first mineral Captain Solano ever discovered. Always was the nostalgic type.
Oh, a globe.
Can't wait to plot a course myself.
Hmm. Well, first officer, you'll eventually get it.
Just a sip of something. Decisions, decisions. Tea. That's lovely.
Hmm.
Jara Rydek. Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. The only regret is we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare.
That would be totally unnecessary. I don't need any pomp and circumstance.
You've been here all of 5 minutes, and already you're trying to make us more efficient. I like it. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage.
Yep.
But not nearly as much as the crew.
Hmm.
I assume you mean the accident.
That's right. The tragic accident, really. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career. Right there. Within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship can handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
You're being too hard on yourself. It wasn't your fault.
It's not a question of blame. It's about responsibility. No matter what the circumstances. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO. I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be my call. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. 2 previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
Pretty much.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. You'll never guess where it leads.
Hotari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed.
How very ironic.
I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater. But the diplomat will brief us on the details of the rendezvous.
Who is the senior diplomat we're escorting?
That I don't know. Starfleet hasn't said. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify. If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come, let me introduce you to the crew.
Oh, here's the bridge. So he was in his ready room, I guess you could say, but now we're on the bridge. And I like how the design almost resembles that of the USS Enterprise from the Next Generation.
If I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Well, what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our Chief Science Officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian. He's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time.
Thank
And I
you.
look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
That's very kind of you to say. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad. Because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves. And you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
You really do know a thing or two about me. I'm glad I could inspire you, but it's important to chart your own path.
Thanks. You can count on it.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont.
Yep.
Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. Have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
Yep. So, that's... sit in the captain's chair when ready.
Operations, staffing, supplies. There's a lot to keep track of on a starship. Good thing we have Commander Ermont. The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class, meaning it's capable of quick maneuvers. Can't wait to see what she can do. Impressive range of view.
Yep.
Science station. The Resolute is a science vessel, primarily.
Yep.
Might explain Commander Westbrook's attitude. I'll have to speak with him later.
So I think that's about every... Oh, no, not yet.
Tactical station. Hopefully a diplomatic mission won't require we use our weapons much. But if it comes to that,
Yep.
we'll be ready.
Yeah, it can happen. So you gotta be real ready. Always gotta be real ready for that.
So many decks. Full of crew that are now my responsibility. communications. Keeps us in contact internally and with other vessels. Turbolift could take me anywhere on the ship, but I'm right where I need to be.
For the moment, yes. So now I believe all we have to do. What the heck?
Tactical hollow dais. Just like they've got on the Excelsior.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field, now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
Storm surge.
The storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
I could only imagine how much
Somewhere out
string.
here. I half expect to see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town.
Alright, so before we continue, I'm gonna go ahead and use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Go ahead. I'll be right back, guys. Alright. So we are back now. Looking to see how we've done so far. For Captain Solano was reassured by Jara's modesty and leadership potential out after their first meeting. Alright, so that's something there.
But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine.
Yeah, of course I do. Starfleet's an open door. We just have to walk through it. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere. See new worlds. Look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be.
That's true.
Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the Sif emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
So you have to be real careful with these tools. If we lose anything, it's not going to be good. Pick up calibration tool.
Beginning recalibration.
Align the Sif. Yeah, okay, that works.
Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
Why is it blinking red, though?
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I am the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
What a very impressive list of credentials.
This is a research and discovery ship, first and foremost. Now with a former tactical officer as its new first officer. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then?
Sounded very prejudiced.
Without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
That's very kind of you to be concerned about my well-being. But you don't need to trouble yourself on my account. I'll be fine.
Well, I wouldn't say I was concerned, just curious, that's all.
Yeah, sure, whatever you say.
Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends. So I can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
Uh-oh.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound. On screen.
Oh, that's great.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wide-band burst of ionic energy. Like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities all over the ship.
Estimated time to
Red alert.
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
Is that a pulse or ray shields? See, the one problem that let's see here. So I got the pulse. What would that do with with what's coming at us? Would that help us? Would that not help us? And then you got the shields. We don't even know what the status of shields are, because they don't really fucking tell us. Yeah, I'm thinking a bit hard on this one, but, it's not really a bad thing to do, though, Yeah, I gotta be thinking a bit hard on that one. Because I'm still thinking on this. Because, if we're gonna be completely honest with, let's think about this here for a second here. See, the one thing that I'm thinking of here is, which would be the most effective? Would it be... See, we do have the, See, we do technically have... I never said Siri. I don't know why it's saying I said Siri, but whatever. I'm thinking so hard on this one. Because the one thing you don't want to do is to make a big mistake. So yeah, I'm thinking very hard on this one here. Hmm. 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 Now I know what it feels like to be a first officer. Because it's so you gotta think real fast, but it's like, oh my god, what do we gotta do here? The only thing is, like, if this was real life, we would not have the pause button. We could not just simply pause. We have to make a decision right then and there. Um, excuse me there. Excuse me. Mm. Hmm. All right. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I'm still thinking. I know, not really the best idea, but I'm still thinking here. Hmm. You see, on the one hand, because they both are really good options, but I'm leaning toward the shields, because I feel like that might be something to do. Hmm. I want to go for the shields, because that's the first thing in my head right now.
That's right, which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Bedrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
Heading locked.
Raise shields.
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
Blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
Well, it's starting off with a game. It's not like we won't impress him later. It is what it is.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
There you go.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Are you alright?
Yeah. So took most of it. Just snuck up on me.
That damaged your suit. Energy dampening is down to 50%. We're almost to the regulator.
Alright.
We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
Now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
Alright.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral. EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chovok.
Uh-oh. Whoa! What the hell? Oh.
Get down! DS to bridge. We just lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working?
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
The docking clamp isn't functioning. We're exploring our options.
The option is to detonate the emergency release.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Jara?
All due respect, sir, it's a more complex situation than when you
Jara,
disembarked.
I need you to do the right thing. We can't have this go sideways before we even leave for the mission.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
Man, they're giving us a lot of thinking to do. Well, I know what he wants us to do.
Starbase, stand by. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your groups on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Oh yeah, don't give me...
Grab my hand!
Yeah, did not give me much of an option to do that, but alright.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Ah, come on. Uh-oh. Oh, that was fun. Oof. Let's do it! Come on! Got it! Oh! Oh! None of you are not getting out of here in my...
Petty Officer Etzelar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed, and you are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc to approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Etzelar there to access the interior.
Roger that. Go in there now.
Or not. Huh. Also, it should be duly noted. There was Captain Picard. I know. I'm a fan of Star Trek, and, you know, Next Generation was my first show and all that. But here's the reason why, okay? At one moment in the episode Redemption Part 2, there's a moment where Data goes into his ready room and submits himself for disciplinary action because he disobeyed a direct order from a superior officer. And as he put it, while his actions proved positive, the ends do not justify the means. But Picard tells him that while they can't, Starfleet does not want officers who will blindly follow orders without analyzing the situation first. And he basically commends Data for doing what he did, because, as Picard himself put it, to only say that I was following orders has been to claim to claim I was only following orders has been used to justify too many tragedies in our history. And it's true, though.
I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
Welcome back.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there.
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that.
Whoa! Oh, shit.
We made it.
They're safe, bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
Yeah, I already know the captain's not going to be happy with us for disobeying his orders. But still. we got so many different people to look at here. So let's see here. Captain Solano was furious. Jara defied his orders and did not blow the bolts on the docking clamps as he instructed her to do. Lieutenant Bedrosian appreciated Jara's leadership skills when Starbase ordered her to disengage the docking clamps, and she thought highly of Jara's efforts to explain the complexity of the situation to Captain Solano, and she was relieved when Jara defied Captain Solano's orders and made her own command decision in the moment. Commander Westbrook was impressed by Jara's leadership skills when Starbase ordered her to disengage the docking clamps, and he applauded Jara's efforts to explain the complexity of the situation to Captain Solano. Ultimately, he was thankful when Jara defied Captain Solano's orders and made her own command decision in the moment. Commander Ermont was impressed by Jara's leadership skills when Starbase it's pretty much we got these three all happy for us. The captain currently not very happy with us because we defied his orders, but he doesn't understand the full situation, so let's see here. Lieutenant Commander Chovak did not approve of Jara's unwillingness to follow protocol when she defied Captain Solano's orders to blow the bolts in the docking clamps. Ed Stellar was grateful when Carter put her safety ahead of his own out of the hull. Miranda felt encouraged by Carter's warm reception, blah blah blah. Yeah, alright.
Millie.
I'm good. Help me with him.
Let's get this off.
Oh.
Medical. Got one wounded at my location. Carter. You don't look so good. You gotta be more careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet. Now let's get you down to sickbay.
Great.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermont?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
Yep, I already know he's gonna be a bit mad because we didn't obey orders.
You disobeyed my orders. Well?
Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the information I had.
You disobeyed my orders! And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest, so here it is. Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order, but you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
Oh.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are. And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to you did what you had to. That'll have to be good enough for me.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermont, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
Out of curiosity, what does he say here? Captain Solano's fury over having his orders defied was compounded by Jara's continued rebellious attitude and stubborn opposition to his leadership, leaving him questioning his choice of first officer. Were we really rebellious? Like, maybe at first we were, but at the same time, but by the end of it, we're like, well, let me tell you what exactly happened, so you know why I made the decision that I made. To me, it was going from a bit. It seemed like anger was getting the better of us, but over time we slowed down and talked it out. All I ask is a tall ship.
All departments reporting full mission readiness. We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
You know, hold on, let me see something here, actually. I just had this thought in my head the whole time, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been having this thought ever since I heard Captain Solano, the voice actor of Captain Solano. I have had this thought in my head. Let me see something here. That's not the one I wanted to see here. Where is it? Because I feel like the voice actor for Captain Solano sounds very familiar to me. Okay, not that far. I don't need to go that far back. Because I remember... Wait. I am trying to find this. Well, who was that guy that played as the... Hold on. Well, it turned out no, he wasn't. But let me see something here. First off, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's see something here. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. Because the reason why I was wondering about Captain Solano was because his voice actor sounded very much like the voice actor that played as Bittenbinder in Pitfall: The Lost Expedition. And no, it wasn't. It wasn't the same guy, but he sounded very similar to him.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar. Do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
You know what?
You take this
Hmm.
Engage.
I could not help but think when I seen do it, I could not help but think of Palpatine. You know, I could not help but that meme, that Star Wars meme. Damn it. I could not help myself. It's so funny though, but okay. Alright, we're moving on now. Let's go.
But effective.
Easy. Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
You don't look so good.
Uh-oh. What's going on here? Oh, it's in the red.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Commander, help me get her inside.
Whoa! You know, that one officer's point is duly noted now.
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Who are you?
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on him, but he'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your deridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're
rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the deridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
It does make me unique, but it's not a burden at all. I'm honored to be Kobliad, to represent my people.
As you should be. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. The breakthrough discovery. A major innovation.
Fuck. Hold on a second. I need to move my camera. Give me a second here. I need to move my camera.
Something he can put his name on. The more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take.
I was so focused on my camera being where it would, it's interfering with the text that I don't know what to think here.
People become blinded by their own ambition. I've seen it happen before.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. We need you now more than ever. And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge. It took guts to defy a direct order.
I guess word travels fast around here.
Yeah?
It's a small ship. And everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure is almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
Then, my work here is done.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I think I can,
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
I'm feeling much better. Thank you. It's just part of who I am.
You don't have to explain to me. I understand. I'm just glad you're okay. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
Now, Carter, the emissions that gave you that burn are quite unusual, like action effects. That should help speed your healing. She's come by a couple of times to see you already. Be brief.
It's good to see you awake again. I was starting to get worried. Not that you aren't in good hands with Dr. Duvall. You did take one hell of a shot, though.
I hear you've been checking in on me. Thanks for that.
One of the benefits of working a security rotation. Lots of opportunities to walk by sickbay and stop in. Millie was looking in on you too, by the way. But since it's just us right now, I had a chance to think about this while I was away. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. instead of tiptoeing around it.
I love how they go at the very bottom, how they make you make an assumption. I love that. But I am not going there, because I have learned my lesson on making assumptions, and I'm not doing that today.
Or worse, leaving it unsaid.
It's okay, Miranda. You can tell me anything.
I know that.
Then come on. Just spit it out.
I'm trying. Let me talk.
I'm loving this.
What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time. But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
Oh. This is such a big moment! What are the choices here again? Oh, dude, this is completely out of the blue that I don't even know how to feel about this. Because, hmm. If I wasn't the only person here, I'd ask, what should I say?
You don't have to explain it. I feel the same way. There is something between us.
So, do you want to find out what that something is?
Sure.
If it's there for you, and it's there for me, why not give it a try?
Are you kidding me? I just said yes.
I wanted to be sure I heard that right.
Sorry to interrupt.
No! Oh, yes! Gotta love that! Gotta fucking love that. Oh, you gotta love that! Every time, I swear to God, I hate it and love it at the same time. Every time two people profess their love for each other, and you expect them to do something like right then and there, and then someone or something has to interrupt that moment. I love and hate that at the same time, okay? Oh my God. Jeez. Also, I feel like this moment is almost in a bit of a reference toward Star Trek Voyager, because that was one of two shows alongside Deep Space Nine, where you had two characters working on the same ship in Voyager's case, or space station on Deep Space Nine's case, where you have a relationship going on. Deep Space Nine had the relationship between Worf, who returned to Star Trek after his time on The Next Generation, as well as a few of the Next Generation movies, as well as that of Kira and Odo. And for Voyager, you mainly had B'Elanna Torres and Tom Paris, but that doesn't happen from the beginning. That happens later in the show, but still. That's really nice.
Patient needs to rest if he wants to get back to his old self.
Of course. I'll see you again soon.
I'll just give him a damn kiss on the cheek, for goodness sake. Well, actually, don't do that, because you might get the radiation. I just realized that. It's just so funny of a moment there, honestly. Alright. So, Hmm. Based on how that moment ended, I feel like we should end it here. But I don't know. Let me see something here. Let me see. Okay. Alright, so it's saved there. Alright. So, that was Star Trek Resurgence. I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I'm gonna take a little break. I may or may not be coming back live here in a little bit. But I do want to get something to eat before I do anything else. But in any case, yeah, I am enjoying this game so far. I don't know if I like it at the moment, but I'm enjoying it so far, though. That's for sure. But in any case, that is going to do it for me for this episode. I just looked at my phone in case anybody's wondering what I was doing there. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode of Star Trek Resurgence. I may be going live here in a little bit, but I'm going to take a break, like I said, and get something to eat because I am getting kind of hungry. But in any case, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, this is Forrest Walpole, signing off.